Welcome into the DAS Offsite event training. Thank you so much for taking the time to take this training and for wanting to help us with offsite events. The goal of attending offsite events is to create a connection with the community, to provide resources and education for responsible pet ownership, and to promote pet fosters and adoptions. While at an offsite event, you'll be representing DAS and you'll be responsible for knowing this information by heart. We'll start by talking about the two main types of events. The first is an adoption van event. This is an event where a staff member brings the adoption van with 6 or so shelter dogs. These are typically our larger adoption events, and the staff is responsible for planning our attendance at these events. Volunteer responsibilities at these events include providing excellent customer service, promoting adoptions at the event, practicing safe animal handling, and conducting meet and greets with the public and acting as an adoption assistant. The second type of events is a volunteer-led event. These events are fully volunteer-led, and our volunteer leads are responsible for planning these events. Typically, the pets at these events will be foster pets, and their foster parent will be in attendance as well to handle the pet. If this is the case where all the dogs in attendance are foster pets, handling will be less of a priority. Instead, you'll be focused more on customer service and the recruitment of community advocates. Volunteers also have the option to bring pets from the shelter to these events, but they must select these pets from a predetermined list. The dress code at all events will be the same as volunteering in the shelter. You must wear closed-toed shoes with good traction, professional pants or shorts, and your volunteer t-shirt, sweater, or hoodie. Next, we're going to talk about some of the primary topics of conversation at offsite events, starting with volunteering. The process of becoming a volunteer is to fill out an application online, attend a virtual info session, which are held via Teams, watch our 2-part video orientations, and attend an in-person welcome tour. We require 4 hours in a non-animal handling position prior to volunteers being able to take the canine or feline handling training and start working hands-on with the pets. The age ranges for volunteers are volunteers ages 5 to 11 must volunteer with a legal guardian at all times and cannot participate in any of the animal handling positions. Ages 12 to 15 must also volunteer with a legal guardian at all times, but they can participate in the animal handling positions. For all volunteers ages 5 to 15, a legal guardian has to attend in a ratio of 1-to-1 with underage volunteers, so one parent can't volunteer with 2 kids at the same time. Volunteers ages 16 and 17 will need to have their legal guardian attend a welcome tour with them, but then they can volunteer without their legal guardian in any of the non-animal handling and animal handling positions. And the best way to recruit new volunteers at offsite events is to share your own experience. How did you get involved volunteering? What do you find most rewarding about volunteering? What positions would you recommend based on your own experience? Our next topic is going to be fostering. There are 2 main types of fostering to adopt and our regular foster program. The one most relevant to you at an offsite event will be foster to adopt. This is also sometimes called same-day fostering. This is available for people who would like to adopt but aren't quite ready to make the full commitment. They can foster to adopt, see how the pet fits into their home, and then proceed with the adoption if it's a good fit. Returning a foster to the shelter is much easier than returning an adopted dog once they've already completed the paperwork. This is only available for first-time fosters who have not already fostered with DAS. If a foster or adopter has a dog at home, we recommend that people keep the new dog separate from their dog at home for 3 to 7 days. If someone is fostering to adopt, we can process the foster at the event, and we need a government-issued photo ID and for them to complete the foster agreement, which will be included in the offsite event kit. Our regular foster program is a great way for people to provide temporary homes for pets outside of the shelter. For this, they'll need to complete the additional steps of watching our foster orientation and submitting a foster application online. For our regular foster program, it's preferred if the foster can keep the pet until they find their perfect home and are adopted, but that isn't always possible. If a foster does need to return their pet to the shelter, they can contact the foster team and schedule a drop-off appointment. Our next topic is going to be adoptions. Dallas Animal Services is an open adoption agency. Never say or imply that someone needs a certain resource level prior to adopting. Everyone has implicit biases, and our open adoption policy helps us eliminate implicit bias from our adoption process. At any given time, we have around 300 pets available for adoption at the shelter. If you're speaking to someone at an event and none of the dogs in attendance match what the adopter's looking for, advise them to come to the shelter. You'll have access to a pet's behavior notes when at an offsite event. Use the past behavior notes and your day of observations to help counsel the adopter on being a successful pet parent. If you have a 6-month-old puppy who went to the bathroom in their kennel or the crate on the way over and has a lot of energy, counsel the adopter on potty training and puppy training. To adopt, the adopter needs a government-issued photo ID, to fill out the adoption paperwork, and to pay the adoption fee, if relevant. Our next topic is community resources. We offer free heartworm treatment for dogs adopted from DAS. It's a 3-month process and requires the dog to be on kennel rest for the full 3 months. The adoption folders for heartworm-positive dogs outline the process in full, and if you would like to learn more about the full heartworm treatment process, please ask your event lead. Pet food pantries. We run pet food pantries in the community at several locations. To find the locations and times of pet food pantries, direct the public to our website under Services, then Events. Rehoming. If someone needs to rehome their pet, advise them to start within their own networks and see if anyone is willing to adopt from them directly. Posting on Facebook, Nextdoor, and word of mouth are all great ways to get the word out and try to find that pet a new home. From there, direct them to our website under Services and Surrender a Pet. This will include links to resources to potentially keep that pet with their original owner, links to rehoming services, and a link to schedule an owner surrender if necessary. This page also has links to spay and neuter clinics in Dallas, low-cost vaccine clinics, and low-cost microchip clinics. Donating. All donations will go through Friends of Dallas Animal Services, our nonprofit partner. They can buy us our most needed supplies right when we need them. There are both cash tip jars and electronic dip jars for donations in the event kits. We can always use in-kind donations. Some of our supplies that are always needed are crates, towels, blankets, dog food, and dog treats. We also have an Amazon wish list on our website with our most needed supplies. Handling dogs at the event. While you're at an offsite event, you're responsible for the dog or dogs currently in your care. Be paying close attention to the dog's body language for signs of stress. If it's a longer event, they'll likely need a break from all the noise and attention at some point. When this happens, you can take them on a walk to a less crowded area or put them back in their kennel for a bit so they have a chance to relax. 2 dogs from the shelter should not be meeting nose to nose at an offsite event. When you get out a dog, either that you brought from the shelter or from the adoption van, be sure to set up 10 feet away from the next closest dog. Some dogs may not get along with another dog from the shelter or be leash reactive, and we do not want an altercation at an event. Especially if you're handing out treats or food, make sure the next closest dog is at least 10 feet away. We are also not able to do dog-to-dog meet and greets at events or at the shelter. If someone approaches with their dog that they own or ask to do a dog-to-dog meet and greet, please inform them that we're not able to accommodate their request and they'll need to keep their personal dog at least 10 feet away from the shelter dogs. The reason we cannot do dog-to-dog meet and greets is because we don't want to get the owned dog sick, as shelter dogs may have something and be asymptomatic. We also encourage slow introductions, and at an offsite event is not the time nor place to introduce 2 new dogs to each other. We do not want the public to approach the dogs too quickly, especially children. If someone is approaching too quickly, especially from behind the dog, it can startle them and they may react negatively to that interaction. Instead, it's best to bring the dog to the new person or persons and let the dog choose to enter into that interaction. If someone is approaching too quickly, be polite but firm that they're approaching too quickly, and if they want to meet the dog, we'll bring it to them. You may have a large group or family request to meet a dog all at once. If a dog is surrounded by too many people at once, that can feel overwhelming, and that interaction may again be negative. If you have a group of more than 3 people wanting to meet a dog at once, have them split into smaller groups and meet the dog a few at a time. Our next topic is going to be some frequently asked questions. We have a frequently asked questions document in the document library that can be found on the home page of My Impact. Most of the questions there are more shelter specific, but we'll go through a few of them as they pertain to offsite events. What is BDallas 90? BDallas 90 is our community engagement campaign designed to help us achieve and sustain a 90% live release rate. We cannot achieve a 90% live release rate without the community's help. End the conversation with a call to action and let the public know that they can help us achieve more positive outcomes by volunteering, fostering, and/or adopting. Stay positive. Some people may try to ask pointed questions or try to intentionally interact with you negatively. When this happens, shift the focus back to positivity and working to get pets adopted and find positive outcomes. Can we hold the pet for adoption? No, we cannot hold any pets for adoption. If they're not able to commit to adopting at the event, give them the pet's A number and have them check back at the shelter when they're ready to adopt. Can we provide medical care for adopted pets? No, we cannot provide any further medical care once a pet is adopted, apart from the heartworm treatment. Can we provide medical care for fosters? Yes, but they need to go through DAS foster and medical teams. We cannot reimburse fosters for medical treatment from third parties. How to introduce a dog into a new home. Follow the 3-3-3 rule. It generally takes 3 days for a dog to start to decompress, 3 weeks for them to start learning their new routine and getting more comfortable, and 3 months for them to fully settle in and show their full personality. This is a general rule, as some dogs may acclimate fully to their new home after a few weeks. Some dogs may take 6 or 9 months to get fully used to their new home. Dog-to-dog and dog-to-cat introductions can be more difficult depending on the pet. The adoption folder will have tips for introductions, but generally we counsel for slow introductions. Adopters shouldn't introduce their new dog to their existing dogs or existing cats the same day that they're adopted. After this training, you'll complete a quick quiz and then you'll be given the qualifications to start signing up for offsite event shifts. You can sign up for shifts under the special event category of My Impact. Thank you for taking the time to take this training. If you have any questions, please email us at dasvolunteer@dallas.gov. We hope to see you for an offsite event soon.